just like a broken record, same old songs of accusation play. I could you to speak the truth, just look at all your failures and mistakes. And if they really knew you, there's no way they could love you anyway. Oh, but I will fight the lies with the truth.
Hello, and welcome to the Send Help Podcast, a podcast and a lifeline for moms who are stuck in the trenches of mommyhood, bringing them encouragement through Jesus, laughter, and sisterhood. Hey, Christy, thanks so much for making fun of me while I said that.
I wasn't making fun of you. I was just animating
my words.
The words. I figured if someone were acting out charade style what you were saying, that would have been it. I don't know.
Man, oh man. Well, what is up, friend?
I tell you what, this has been one of the busiest weeks of my motherhood life.
Tell me. Do tell. Do tell, please. And thank you. Okay, so why is your week
all right, so
crazy?
Monday night we had school supply drop off. Tuesday was first day of Mother's Day out. Mm-hmm. Wednesday we had softball practice.
Yeah.
Thursday was the virtual, it was when they posted a video of the school. Mm-hmm. So like you clicked on PE and like the PE teachers introduced themselves and it showed the gym, and music teacher introduced herself and it showed her room. It was, yeah, but it was 30-second clips.
Oh.
Very short.
Yes. Very,
very short. We actually went through her classroom and paused because it was like pictures. It wasn't even, it was a video of the teacher talking, but then everything else was a picture. Mm-hmm. So we paused every time a new picture came up. Look, this looks like maybe a reading corner of some kind
not
or
really
something.
Sure, but we think
I'm not really sure. There's some bins over here on the side that maybe have some kind of manipulatives in them. I don't know if you'll be using those because that's a shared item. Look, there's the teacher's rocking chair. So I'm assuming that over here, if you're able to have rug time, will be where you would sit for that.
If you're allowed to be near anyone else, this is what you'll get to do.
Oh, your table. It looks like there's 4 little cutouts, like one on each side of a square. So I think that you'll have 3 people at your table. It was all a big, huge guessing game of pausing pictures. Oh, look, this is where you're going to put your backpack.
We think.
I think. It's the cubby with a hook. So that was interesting. There was a lot of guessing, and she's going to get in there probably and be like, no, my mom said that the picture of this was where we were supposed to. And her teacher's going to be like, well, I'm sorry, sweetie, but that's not what's happening here. She's very.
My mom said this.
No, my mom said that it was going to be this.
I know this about your child.
Right.
Yes.
So, and then, okay, so that was on Thursday, and Avery and I both also got our hair cut on Thursday.
That's big.
Yeah.
What a fun.
I've been depriving her.
First girl day.
It was fun. We have one more girl day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Because when your 2 littles
they're at Mother's Day out. So we take them, we wait in the drop-off line. Yeah. We wait in the drop-off line, which has been a hoot. I'm telling you, I know there's the drop-off line for elementary schools that everyone except for me has experienced. But y'all, this particular drop-off line, everyone has more than one kid. Not very many of the parents is just like a single child family. Most of them is at least 2. sometimes 3. We've been 3 and now we're 2 again. But they're all younger than kindergarten.
Yeah.
So every single car that pulls up, the parent has to get out, open the van doors, unbuckle a child, take the child out, walk the child around so that the child is not walking through the carpool line, close that door, open another door, unbuckle that child, get them out, put them on the sidewalk, close that door, go to the back and open it up and get all of their bags and sleep mats and take to the teacher, close the door, kiss them goodbye, get back in, buckle up and pull off. And then the next car can come up.
It's like Mom Olympics right there.
But it only took me 20 minutes.
That's insane.
It only took me 20 minutes
efficient.
to get through the line.
That's amazing.
And if you wait until after it's already moving, it takes less time.
Yes. Well, that is the key for all pickup lines. Yes.
Discovered it on day 2. Thought, I got here right when it started. I got there 15 minutes early.
Don't expect this kind of efficiency at every the elementary school.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because when we weren't in COVID lockdown,
right,
social distancing
this
protocol,
is the only way to drop off your child at the elementary school is when in the drop-off line.
I would sit. You could sit in the drop-off line or in the pickup line for 45 minutes and not move at all.
Oh, nice.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be
super
so
excited about it. So anyway,
make sure you have lots of snacks and things to keep
the other ones entertained. Yeah. So, okay.
Go back.
I experienced the carpool. Not carpool. It was just us.
Yeah.
But the drop-off line. I experienced the drop-off line. It is, yeah. Well, it was when I was in elementary school, it was the carpool lane.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your mom parked and you just knew where she was on the street and just went to the car. There was no parents driving through with a tag with a number on it.
No.
No. So Friday, we had a Zoom meet the teacher. We had softball practice.
Yep.
We had a prayer walk.
I know.
And then my husband had his fantasy football draft.
How exciting.
I know. We had to get home in time for it. I tell you what, we barely made it.
That's amazing that he was able to squeeze that in with the prayer walk.
I know.
In practice.
I know. And he's one of the assistant coaches, which is totally his thing. He is on cloud 9.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's amazing. But can we talk for a second about the fact that you planned this whole prayer walk and you didn't tell Dusty?
Right. Yeah. I forgot to tell him about it. So Friday had the most events on the calendar.
Yes.
And I did probably at some point
mention
No, I didn't actually ever say anything to him. I put it on the calendar. So the Zoom meeting with Meet the Teacher got put on the calendar, and then her softball practice got put on the calendar. And then I'm in one room and I get a notification that an event has been added, and I open it and it's for the same day. So there are now 4 events on this one day. And I ran into the other room and I was like, nothing else can happen on, September 4th? Yeah, nothing else can happen on September 4th. We can't. He's like, yeah, I know. It's a packed full day. Yeah. And we have to go to the prayer walk. Yeah, I saw that you put that on there. Good. I'm glad that you saw that. He's like, yeah, I saw that you put that on there. Like, what is it? Who's doing that? I'm like, I am. So we have to be there. We can't not go to it because something else gets put on the calendar for that day. We cannot add anything else on that day because I started the prayer walk. So we have to be there.
You don't have a choice.
And
you have
we
to go
can't
with me.
be late. So her practice has to be over with at 6:15 because the prayer walk on the other side of town is at 7 and we can't be late. He's like, you're doing it?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Yeah, so here's what happened. So Tasha started texting us about a prayer walk for Peaster.
Mm-hmm.
And she and a couple other moms had been talking, and they were putting on the prayer walk for Peaster. Now, they did theirs upright.
Oh, like, yeah.
They put a lot into theirs.
Yes.
I created an image that said prayer walk with the name of the school, the words in the parking lot at 7, September 4th. And I posted it on the parent page on Facebook. And I said, here's what I said. This is a stressful year for all of us going into this school year. I have no prior experiences to base anything off of. I have a new kindergartner. We have no experience with public schools, private schools, any kind of school. The only way that I know how to deal with this situation that is happening to me is to go lay hands on the school. I will be there on this day at this time. If you feel so inclined, please join me.
Which is huge for you. This is a giant
I definitely made sure, like in all caps, at the bottom of the post, I said, please notice, like in all caps, this is not an organized or sponsored event. This is one mom freaking out and choosing to pray it out. Those weren't the words that I used.
One mom freaking out.
This is one mom freaking out.
To pray it out.
Yeah.
So, dun, dun, dun.
And I had a lot of responses. About half of them were like, hey, that's Labor Day weekend. Yes, I know. It's also the Friday before school starts. So there we go. It was also the first night that there weren't being like school supplies being dropped off in the evening or other things going on campus. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, Monday is Labor Day and I'm not going to do it the night before school because then that means I'm not at home panicking and frantically trying to get all of the last minute things together.
One mom freaking out.
Yes.
Planning. Dealing with it by praying it out.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't even know.
I need to remember that. It's good.
Don't freak out. Pray it out. So, by the way, everyone listening this morning, this is my daughter's first day of school.
Pray it out.
So pray it out with me.
Right now.
Pray it out with me. School starts at 7:45. I drop her at the door. At the door.
At the door.
At the door.
At the door.
It's fine.
It's going to be good.
It's totally fine.
It's going to be great.
It's totally fine.
We're going to be praying it out at this point.
Praying it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You and I will be Marco Poloing.
Yeah.
You can cry and we will pray it out.
And, you know, it's not that far from our house. So it's okay if I'm like, you know, my vision is clouded by tears. Amber lives down the street, so I can just go park in her driveway.
It's fine. Josh and I will come do school at your house.
Yeah.
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 Be waiting there for you.
Yeah. Because my other kids will totally let that happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's why I didn't choose virtual learning for Avery. But, oh my goodness. So Friday was the night.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of interactions with people. I posted it 2 weeks out. Mm-hmm. I posted on Wednesday, and then I posted it again on Friday.
I'm just
like people are going to forget.
This is way outside of your comfort zone, and I am incredibly proud of you.
It really is. I think I told you and Tasha several times, like, people are talking to me, and I'm responding to them on Facebook. And
like I'm an outgoing person.
If they actually show up, they're going to be like, oh, she was so talkative on the thread on Facebook. No. It's a prayer walk, which means we're talking to God and not each other. So there was part of me that thought, okay, if nobody shows up, then I can just do my thing. I can put my hands, I can peek in all the windows and not feel weird about it, because I've never been inside of the school.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. When we got there were some other parents, and I was like, so what's that building? What's over here? What is this? I'm like, oh, that's the gym. Oh, that's the gym. The gym's not inside the school. It's a separate building. Okay. All right.
Like, I'm fine.
What's
I'm fine
this over
this.
here?
I'm fine.
Yeah. So, part of me didn't want anyone else to show up. I have one sweet friend whose child is also at the school, and she was there. She told me, like, from the get-go, I will be there. And she was. She texted me during the softball practice, and she's like, so are you ready to be social? I was like, I'm actually sitting at softball practice, and Annabelle is running around talking to all of the other little kids and their parents, pointing to me saying, that's my mommy. And I'm covering my face, trying to tell her to, like, without saying, shut up to the 4-year-old. Please stop talking to everybody. Yeah, totally ready to be social. It was good though. It was good. There were 4 families total. Met some really great people. My children, of course, had already had a very long day and had hit that mark.
Yeah. The wall.
Yes.
Yes.
But there was one little boy that came with his mom. He will also be a kindergartner. Different class. I was a little bummed because I was like, this little kindergartner, like, it would have been Josh.
Aww.
It totally would have been Josh. I was like, this little kindergartner came with his mom. And when we, like, took off and we all kind of split up to go different directions, and he went with his mom, and I started in the front of the building because everyone else started walking around the building. So I started in the front of the building. And then when I started walking around, they were very slowly going from classroom window to classroom window to classroom window. And y'all, the kindergartner was the one praying over the classrooms.
So precious. That's all worth it.
Yes,
there.
It was. And I told him, like, when we were done and we were going home, I was like, you know what? My little girl that is being antisocial and won't come out and talk to you, she's starting kindergarten too. And I have been super nervous, but I feel so much better tonight because I know that you prayed over her classroom for her.
Oh.
He was so sweet. He was so sweet. And he was like, I did pray over, and he said the teacher's name. I'm like, I looked in those windows too. How did you figure out whose classroom was whose? Because I did. I definitely looked in all of the windows. But it was touch and go for me in the beginning because all 3 of my kids wanted to come with me.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to pray.
Right.
I don't know. And I've got my hand, like I'm touching the building. Like, Mommy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you touching the door? Why are you touching the door? I don't want to pray. I didn't say you had to. I said I was going to. Mommy, can we go back to the car? You said you wanted to come with me. Your daddy said he would stay at the car with you. If you want to go to the car, you go back with Daddy. I'm doing something here. Like, do you I'm doing this for you because you're the one starting school. No. But
that's what my insides were screaming.
I know.
But that is not what I used.
It's not what I said. It's not what I said. I was trying to stay very calm. And then Annabelle, of course, wanted to go with one of the other families.
Of course.
I was like, but Annabelle, we don't know them.
Yeah. No.
So just because we're all here praying together doesn't mean that you can suddenly go off with them where I can't see you. We've never met them before. Yep. No. The prayer walk was good. Overall, I'm glad that more people didn't show up, which might sound strange, but I'm glad that more people didn't show up. I think that the people that were supposed to be there were there, and I was able to do what I needed to do to send my baby to school.
Yeah.
But walking around, and I don't know. I want to say that it was emotions because I'm about to send my baby to school. Like, people keep posting the different types of moms dropping kids off at school this year. And I'm definitely the first timer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm solidly in that category. Now, for the other two going to Mother's Day out, I fall into the veteran category of, oh no, honey, you got a lunchbox. Does your teacher need your folder from last year? Because we still have it. Can we send that back? They don't need to waste new resources.
Yes.
Like, for them, I had no problem dropping them on the sidewalk and giving them a kiss and saying, bye-bye.
Exhaust fumes going. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Dust flying.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Peace out.
Two-year-old. Putting my 2-year-old outside on the sidewalk. Go to class. Look, there's your teacher right there. You remember her from last year, right? Bye-bye. Separation anxiety. What? No, they're fine. They're fine. But kindergarten's, it's different. It's a different animal. Quite literally. So from the moment I put my hand on the door, like, the tears just started flowing. And I was trying to, like, hide it and cover it up, It's like, if any of the other parents that were there happened to see me, they'd be like, oh, this lady is a mess. Like, she was not lying. She is freaking out and she's praying it out. Like, legit. Because just the tears were just I couldn't stop them. Like, I was even trying to hide the tears from Dusty. I had my sunglasses on and I did not need them anymore. And I prayed over, I don't even know what door it was. I have no idea what door it was. Because I thought it was the entrance of the school. But then I walked around the corner and there was another entrance and it had, like, the front desk. It's like, oh, so this is the main entrance. Okay. I'm glad I'm doing this because at least now I know where the main entrance is.
Yeah.
So, well, that was an eye opener. When you walk through and you're like, oh no, there's a desk. But I have a friend that works there. Started crying all over again. All over again. My friend works in the front office and I put my hands on the doors and prayed over her. And the only other person's name that I know is the principal. So I prayed specific, and I don't even know if the principal's office is through those doors or if it's located somewhere else in the building, but that was where the front office was. And that's usually where the principal's office is. So,
It sounds like it wasn't just emotion. I know that you're trying to write it off as just emotion, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to level it for you. Like, that was the Holy Spirit.
It was.
You definitely had some emotions going too, but girl, you're an intercessor.
I prayed for my friend because this is going to be a different year for many reasons for her because she's also pregnant.
No. Fun.
So I prayed specifically for her. And I don't even know if it was her chair that I saw, but prayed specifically for her, prayed for the principal, and y'all, like, tears are just streaming down my face. And I turn and I see the playground. And I walk over and I laid my hands on the mulch.
Okay. somebody else is saying this too. It may be Tasha when she listens to it. I don't know. But let me just say, you who has had an issue with going to people and praying for them when God tells you to, and wanting to do it from a text.
People were there.
No, Christy, it doesn't matter. You listen to me right now. This is an encouragement session.
Okay.
Just God has been prompting you because that is a gifting that you have. And the enemy has been shutting you down by saying, nope, not going to feel comfortable with that. Don't want to go put my hands on somebody. But God's like, hey, I want you to go over and I want you to lay hands on that person and pray with them. It's because the reason you are feeling so emotional and you're crying and you're feeling it so deeply, not only because Avery is going off to kindergarten, but because this is a part of your gifting. A part of what God has put in you is you are a kinesthetic prayer. You need to put your hand on it.
I do.
You need to visualize, you need to see it, and you need to be you need to be right there in the presence of it. You're an intercessor and you've always been an intercessor, as in praying whenever and wherever God prompts you, right? But this laying hands,
I did, and I was in tears. I was in tears. I put my hands on the mulch of the playground, and I thought of Josh.
Oh.
And I prayed.
She's going to do it again, y'all.
I prayed that playground would serve its purpose.
Oh.
That it would be a break from whatever is going on in the classroom. That when they go, they can play.
Yeah.
They can burn it off.
Yeah.
And start new and leave before whatever happened before they walked onto that playground, that they could just leave it on the playground and go back and start new and start fresh when they go back into the classroom. The music room was in a portable. So I went and laid my hands on the music room, and I love music. I loved music class.
Yeah.
I will not sing in front of people, but I love music. None of y'all are sitting in front of me, so sometimes it comes out. But I prayed that the noise in that classroom would bring joy to God's ears, that it would fill the kids with joy while they're in there. Because y'all, a song, music is something that touches your soul. It was created that way.
Yeah, it bypasses your mind.
It does. It was created that way. And just like the playground and burning out the stress and getting rid of whatever it is and letting it go and going in and starting new, for some of those kids, that's going to be music.
Yeah.
And that's what they need. They need to sing that song and express themselves in that way. Music has always been important for me. I don't know. I think it is for everybody. Honestly, if you think about it, a song can touch your heart.
Oh my gosh. This is the reason why, we put, I don't want to get off into that whole thing, but why we put musicians and bands into such a worship place is because, we were created to worship.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yes. And music came from heaven. Somebody didn't invent it.
Right. Right.
Lucifer was the director of worship in heaven
music,
before he was thrown out of heaven. There's a reason that it has such a huge impact on us. Why you can hear something and you would never remember that memory except when the music came on.
Exactly.
It's why you can listen to something and it can take you to a place that you don't want to go because of the tie to. That's why it's so important what you put in your ears.
Exactly.
But yes, I agree.
I second all of that. It's extremely important.
I just love this. I keep talking.
Okay, but I bypassed. I did pray over some of the classrooms, but that little boy just touched my heart so much.
He did it.
And I didn't want to like be all up in his business like by going window to window. So I kind of bypassed and just kind of prayed over the classrooms as I walked around them. I found the teacher's lounge and prayed that it would be a safe haven for the teachers, that they would be a team and work together, that they would be there to support each other. And that I know that schools flow better and function better when it works as a team. I've seen it happen both ways.
Yeah.
And it's better for the teachers. It's better for the students when they get along and work as a team.
Well, that teacher workroom is one of the only places they're going to be able to take off their masks when they sit down to eat lunch, too.
Yes, because they had the plexiglass dividers up on the tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can take it off. Exactly. Yeah. But, I prayed for the team and the friendship of the teachers, that they can stand together and all of that. And then I found the cafeteria.
Ooh, that's one. Did you cry over that one too?
I did. I cried over the cafeteria.
I'm so glad.
I did cry over the cafeteria. And I felt silly. Because there's the fields where they do like soccer or whatever is right there. And there were kids out playing in the fields. And I'm like this woman walking around touching the building and crying. So I felt a little weird and awkward.
Do you know how beautiful you looked to Jesus at that time?
Well, hopefully I look beautiful to him all the time.
Well, yeah, I know. But specifically the aroma of those prayers, how much delight you brought to his heart, and seeing you move in your giftings, Christy, you stepped out of your comfort zone, and the Holy Spirit met you there and prayed through you. It's beautiful. And I haven't heard any of these stories yet, guys. I just knew that it happened. So I am right here with you, like, yes. I'm so proud of you. So proud. So
proud. You're cracking me up. But when I prayed over the cafeteria, I prayed for the fellowship that was going to happen at those tables. But that's where the walls are broken down for the kids. That's where friendships are made. So I prayed for the fellowship that was going to happen between the students at those tables. And then I prayed for those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. That the children that go into that cafeteria would find the one that would give them the drink from the well, that they would never thirst again. And what I kept hearing at every single place that I stopped, every time I placed my hand on something, I kept repeating over and over and over as I would finish praying, make your name known. Like, this is it. This is the year. So much is going on. Y'all, I passed the dumpster and I even prayed for the custodians, because I tell you what, I have been at schools where the custodial staff is the most joyful and encouraging to the students. And yeah, they do the job that nobody else wants. But I prayed that they would be filled with joy and love and compassion for the kids, because I've seen the relationships that the kids can have with those staff members.
Yeah.
And I prayed over them. But there's junk. There is junk involved in this school year.
Yeah.
There just is. But we talked all summer. We've talked all summer about we see God moving.
Yeah.
Something big is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
God is moving. How can all of these things be happening and God is not doing something?
Oh, he's doing something.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
And the only way for it to happen, really, is for him to make his name known.
Yeah.
So why not pray that his name is known in the school that my child is attending? And yes, I know there's a separation of church and state, and you're not supposed to bring God into the school, but I tell you what.
We did.
As long as there are Christians attending the school,
yes.
You can't take God out of the school.
Yeah, the church is deployed, people. God has been in every home. I mean, not every home, but he's been, not only are we going to church, but we're watching it at home. Right. It's literally, we're inviting the presence into the home. And that doesn't just sit. Like, it's not like you can just turn that well off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
you can turn your back on it.
Yes, you
can.
And
choose to not drink from that well.
But once he's in, like, our kids are being affected. And yes, I know we've talked a lot about, and the world is talking a lot about how kids are being affected negatively and how, because of all the COVID stuff, and how we're just going to have a whole generation of kids that, you know, they aren't prepared for life, and they're going to have all these separation, like, issues, and they're not going to speak up. And because they're wearing masks, they're not going to be able to have their personality or be individuals, and they're not going to speak up, and they've been away from people for too long, and just all of the horrible things that everybody's saying.
They've been away from people for so long that they are excited to go back to school.
Yeah. But here's what I know. I know that God has not turned his back on our children.
Right.
And he is getting in ways that he's not been invited in.
Right.
In a very long time. And in some homes, never been invited in. And all he needs is a door open.
Mm-hmm.
Even cracked. Yeah. A window cracked. He's coming in. And like, we've been doing school at home, and it's been hell. But at the same time, you guys, my baby, like, we are starting the day with worship. We are starting the day with his Bible study every morning, and we pray together every morning, and we're putting on his armor of God, even though he's like, Mom, I'm not even in my clothes. I'm in my pajamas. It's like, I don't care. We're putting it on every day.
Yeah.
We're doing this again. But this kid who used to fight me, especially over the summer, because I was like, wow, I just totally messed up. Like, I have not been pushing him. I had this realization that I wasn't pouring into him the way that I should have been. Like, and then I was like, coulda, shoulda, woulda. And like, his relationship with God, just like all of a sudden, now he's telling us that God talks to him all the time, and God said this, and God said this. And then he's like, he's praying, and he's praying beautiful. My cousin got married. Okay, Josh was the ring bearer at the rehearsal. And this is not like that side of the family. Like, we're the crazy Christians, right? Like, just
right.
Just my family. My immediate family. Yes. So it wasn't like it was an invitation, you know, or and he's never around the side of my family. And after the rehearsal is over, and we're at Highland Park Methodist Church, like, this is a giant church.
Right.
And they are very strict about all their things. And he raises his hand as, like, the whole wedding party is getting ready to leave. And he raises his hand and says, first of all, he's mad at me the whole time because he's not able to worship and he's not able to pray, and nobody's in church. Yeah, and he's in church. And so he raises his hand, the the wedding coordinator was like, yeah, do you want to say something, Josh? And this is a kid who is embarrassed to pray out loud in front of like just my parents or you at dinner, you know, like won't do it or won't pray at bedtime. Like he wants us to pray. Mm-hmm. He raises his hand, unbeknownst to me, this is what he's going to ask. I want to pray. Can I pray? And then he marches up onto the podium, onto the stage, and then proceeds to walk around the pulpit and climb up into the, very regal pulpit. Yes. The preacher is there, the minister, and he's like, you can come up here. Josh can't even see over the pulpit. Yeah. You see the top of his head. And he starts to pray. And you guys, Josh prayed for like 3 full minutes. And he didn't stop. He prayed.
And he didn't stutter.
No.
He knew what he wanted to say.
Exactly what he wanted to say. He prayed for the whole world. He prayed for everyone that had coronavirus to be healed, for them to be happy, for there to be joy in the world, for God to be glorified. He prayed for my brother and sister-in-law to feel more comfortable in my parents' home. He prayed he prayed for everyone but the bride and groom. And he ended it, and he got he ended it in the most bold, in Jesus' name, I pray, amen. And I leaned over to Rosie at one point because I was like, this is not a comfort zone thing for anyone else standing here. And I was like, he's never prayed this long in his life. And she's just like, she's got a tear in her eyes. Oh. And I'm going, why did I just ruin that by saying that? But then I was just like in awe and never so proud of my child, but also, cringing when he walked over to the organ next and he wanted to sit down and play it. And I was like, nope, we're not touching that. Nope, not touching it. But, this is what's been brewing. This is what God's been doing. So you can't tell me that he's turning his back on our kids. He is doing something.
He is doing
big,
something.
And it's in each little fire. The Lord showed me in the beginning of this that all of these little fires that we don't know about, we don't know about somebody else's fire.
Right.
But that in this separation and in us being alone, that he's setting these little fires and he's fanning the flames in all of the homes. But I think it's not only our homes, but our kids too.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know we've talked before after the She Speaks conference, and we were talking about how there were 2,000 some odd women attending that conference, and how normally I would be like, oh, well, I'll just let them do it.
Yeah.
I've always been that way. It's why I was not successful in playing sports. I'll just let her get the ball. I'll just let her do it. If there's anyone else doing anything remotely related to what I'm wanting to do, okay, well, I guess they're doing it. But that's not it. It's all of them. What would happen if this little fire said, oh, well, they've got a fire next door. We don't need ours.
Exactly. Which is what we have done before this pandemic.
Yeah.
We let the church building set the fire and we just went to it.
Right.
Instead of the fires being at home.
Right.
Where we aren't with anyone else, so we have to set our own fire.
We do.
Tim, when 4th of July happened and nobody was allowed to do all the fireworks, most of the big shows were shut down.
The shows were.
Yeah, I know.
But the fireworks.
But yes,
in my backyard.
Exactly.
We're not.
No, there was an aerial shot of
not my
late
backyard.
Into the night of California. They were just going along the coastline and it was just all of these tiny fireworks going up everywhere.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
And I don't know. Tim was
there were so many of them that no one was even trying to stop it, even though it's illegal.
Yes. He was like, that's prophetic right there.
It is.
And I was like, you're right. It is. It really, really is. It just, I don't know. I think he was making he was making a statement about like how not everybody's anti-America, you know. And I'm like, I don't think setting off fireworks on 4th of July really makes you American.
It doesn't really make you American.
But he was like, that's prophetic. I'm like, I think you're right. I think that totally plays into everything.
That's exactly,
Yeah. That our little kids,
we all have to do it together
Yes.
to be the light of the world.
Yes.
To be the city on a hill. Everyone's light has to show.
Absolutely. And I think that it's going to start in the schools, and it's going to come from the places that we never thought that it would come from, and out of the mouths of our children.
Right.
And it's going to show what God has been doing in the behind the scenes and in the background that we didn't know because we couldn't see. And that goes for us that have kids at home doing at-home learning.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, we still get to choose. Like, I'm choosing, even though this is hard. This is harder than any schooling we've ever done, trying to do virtual. We're still choosing. I'm still choosing to pour into him.
Right.
Even if I'm forging his writing assignments, he got his Jesus assignment. You know. If you want to know that story, check out our live that we did tonight. I just think it's amazing to hear what you've been praying and then put it together with what we've been experiencing.
Yeah.
And then also how excited I am about God showing you. I hope that you heard him, that this is a part of your gifting.
Well, as long as I can do it on my own and not actually encounter people.
No, that's not going to happen.
Well, he can let me practice.
I know. And this was practice.
He can give me a few more.
But you stepped way outside of your comfort zone. It could have been a mass of people, but he knew exactly who needed to be there.
Yes.
And he's letting you in gently.
He knew that I couldn't handle a mass of people.
Yes, you could have. You could have risen to but it made you more comfortable, that's for sure.
It did make me a lot more comfortable. A lot more comfortable.
You got to focus on you and the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And watch this precious little boy.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. There were moments that I was like, well, why can't my kid come around and pray? She's in the car.
Because you
having
needed
a little
to be
tantrum.
Focused. That's why. You needed to be focused on what the Holy Spirit was doing.
I needed to be focused. You're right.
Yeah.
But y'all, I definitely think that, I mean, there is a reason why the words echoing in my mind.
What verse is that?
Every single time was make your name known on this playground, in this classroom, in this cafeteria, in this gym, on this soccer field. Make your name known in this school, in this city, in this state, which I think, Texas is kind of, maybe that's one of the things that we're known for, is that we have a church on every corner. But still, we can have a church on every corner and his name not be known in this state. It was so overwhelming that I couldn't stop the tears from flowing every time it came to my mind that he will make his name known.
Dude, okay. So I just put it into my Bible app. Just make your name known. All right. And it is said many times in the Bible. But the first one that comes up is Isaiah 64:2. As sure as fire kindles the brushwood, as fire causes water to boil, to make your name known to your adversaries, and the nations may tremble at your presence.
Yes.
Hello, fire. I love it. I love it.
That's a good one.
John 17:26. And I have made your name known to them and will continue to make it known, so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, overwhelming in their hearts, and I may be in them.
Yes.
Psalm 45:17.
I need to do with my kids. Is make his name known to my kids.
Yes.
So that his love overflows in them and people can see him in them.
Yes. Psalm 45:17. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore, the people will praise and give you thanks forever and ever. And it goes on and on and on from here. You guys.
There is a new song out. I don't know how new because I don't listen to the radio often.
Yes.
I have my music.
Me too. Yeah.
And that's what I listen to.
Yeah.
And at this point, my music is hitting on the 5-year mark.
Right.
So I'm not completely hip with the times. Even as far as like Christian
that we're talking
music.
about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, do what you were famous for.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's
Come and do what you were famous for.
Yes.
Which is, I feel like should be an anthem. Everyone should go listen to it. And that should be our prayer. That in the finishing of 2020.
Yeah.
And I know that his timing is not our timing. So maybe it'll be 2021. But Lord, please don't let anything else happen in 2020.
Except good stuff.
Good things.
Amen.
In the finishing of 2020, I really feel like, especially with the starting of school, I feel like the starting of school is a turn. It's a shift.
Hold up. Christy's prophesying now.
No.
Kind of.
I mean, it's an actual
It is.
shift in what has been happening. It literally is.
You were about to go to the Spirit. I know it.
I really think that right now, with school starting back, places are starting to open again very, very slowly.
And then the election is almost here.
And the election is,
The campaigns have started.
They have.
Yes.
Yes.
We won't go there.
No.
Not getting political, just saying there's a lot going on right now.
There's a lot going on right now. The finishing of 2020 is when he is going to do what he is famous for.
Mm-hmm. Revival.
I've heard a lot of people talking about revival.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I've heard a lot of pastors preaching on revival.
Yeah.
Can I just say, in order for revival to happen, you got to do something.
Yes.
It can't just be talk.
Yeah.
It can't. It can't just be talk. You have to do something. A change in the individual. The individual has to make a change that then catches on to another individual who chooses to make a change. That then catches on to another individual that chooses to make a change.
All of these outdoor worship, like that Sean Foyt is doing, people are hearing it, feeling it, and getting baptized. Yes, now I know that now they have to walk the walk.
Right.
But the fact that the awakening is happening in people.
The awakening is happening.
Yeah, revival will happen in believers after that, but the awakening of unbelievers hearing the truth and changing is happening. We're starting to see it.
Yes.
And I believe that he is bringing new life. And that's not just to new believers, it's to old believers. And that there is revival happening.
You know what? My parents were just in the redwood forest.
Yeah.
And they sent us pictures that they're standing at the base of the tree that is ginormous.
Ooh,
and
you're about to put a beautiful bow on this. I can feel it. There's definitely staying in.
Like a little, crevice in the trunk that they're standing inside of.
Yeah.
Because they're huge. They're huge trees.
They've been around for a long time.
They've been around for a long time.
I see where you're going. I see it.
So I'm showing the picture to Avery.
Uh-huh.
And her response really threw me off.
Oh.
It really did. It really threw me off. Because she looked at it, and like one of them was a video that my mom started at the base of the tree at the ground and then panned up so you could see how tall. Mm-hmm. And the tree had one base, but then probably 40, 50 feet into the air, it split into two different trunks.
Wow.
It was really cool. And that was the one that I was showing to Avery. And she was like, her thing that she's like, I cannot even believe that, is what she says about everything. I cannot even believe that. But she looked at it and she looked at me and she's, that's like a new life. Oh. I was like, well, it's an old tree. I don't really understand why are you, and she didn't know. She had no reasoning for why she said that. She thought it was super cool that these old trees were so huge and that one particular one split off into 2 trunks. But her response was, it's like a new life. That's a new life, Mom. Look at it. But it is. Like, we're not young believers.
No.
We're not. But we can split off into a new life. We can split off from mundane, going through motions. I'm motioning my arm as one tree trunk over on the right, just because no one else can see me.
Okay.
I feel like it's very important to what I'm saying. But we can get very stuck in that. And we lose our passion. And the Bible loses its life.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're absolutely right in what you said, because this new this new trunk is shooting out on the other side from the same tree. In its life. It's a new life.
Yeah. And I mean, in all honesty, out of all those cool redwood trees, which one's the most interesting? Huh.
Yeah. That one.
So you can't count it all as, you messed up, you let yourself get stagnant, all that stuff. It's still just as beautiful as the other redwoods. As a matter of fact, it's more interesting.
It is.
It's the one you stop and take pictures of.
It is. How did that ever happen?
Exactly. All right. Well,
y'all pray for me today as I still have 2 children to take care of while I wallow and look through baby pictures. I feel it coming because today is Monday. The day is almost over. Tomorrow is our last special girl time day.
It's going to be very special. Well, we will definitely be praying for you. We will be praying for Avery's first day of school, and we'll be praying for your mama heart, and we are going to be praying for the revival to start in our kids.
Yes.
How exciting. Praying for a good year. It's going to be a great year.
It is going to be a great year.
It's a life-changing year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
We have our little world changers.
Yes.
Going to school.
Yeah.
Even if it's at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still interact with classes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we love you guys. We're praying for your kiddos too. Drop us a picture. We want to see pictures of your first days of school. I know
some of y'all have already started. Yeah. So you already have one and you can post one today.
Drop us pictures of you dealing with your kids at school. Yeah. Or I think that would be a great selfie.
It would. I'm actually more interested in seeing those.
I know, right? We love you guys. Follow us on all social media at Send Help Podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on our website, thesendhelppodcast.com. And we will see you next week. Bye.